Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So welcome to another new video on my YouTube channel. Again, happy spring. I hope you're enjoying the lovely spring ambience wherever you are in the world. And in today's video, I'm going to do two sketchbook tours of my pretty recent sketchbooks from last autumn and winter. So specifically from early October to early December 2023. And then early December 2023 to mid-February 2024. So crossing about 4 months of my life, last autumn and winter. So let's revisit those days again of my life in watercolor art journals. Alright, so let's start by viewing this sketchbook that I started on October the 8th and finished it on December the 5th, 2023. Okay, so I started this sketchbook in New York City. So these are the warm-up sketches that I did at home before departing for the airport. Sunset sky outside one of my home windows, my current palette, and two beloved Holbein water brushes. First stop in New York City was at Central Park. So sitting in the middle of the park at Sheep's Meadow, I captured these towering skyscrapers that are much taller than the ones in Vancouver, and the little forest floating underneath, that the foliage was just began to change into a golden town. Sketching the sunrise colors outside my hotel windows while waiting for my travel companion, which is my mom, to get ready. And then taking the metro to the Dumbo area to see this panoramic view of Brooklyn Bridge. And this sketch took me almost 2 hours to finish. Iconic places. It's actually my first time visiting New York City, so I just visited all of these iconic places. So next time when I visit, I want to visit more secret places that are less known by tourists. Okay, sketching on Ellis Island. I think this is the National Museum of Immigration. Yeah, and this building reminds me of the old train station from my childhood, so I decided to sketch that. Another sketch on Ellis Island, capturing the Statue of Liberty from this distance, and all of these people waiting for the ferry to go back. And then, yeah, this is just like a very personal view of the Statue of Liberty. So on Liberty Island, this is actually so busy, and I feel a little bit intimidated to sketch that perfect view of the statue among all of the crowds. So this is actually a more personal and unique one. And then in the evening, I decided to go back to the Dumbo area to see this very famous views of the Manhattan Bridge illuminated by the evening sunshine right before sunset. So I had to be really quick to capture the glow because it faded away really quickly in about like 40 minutes. So this was a 45-minute sketch on location, sitting at one of the tables outside a restaurant or cafe. And then the next day, visiting the New York Public Library somewhere around 56th Street. And then capturing the lion of fortitude or patience, don't really remember, but so my horoscope sign is Leo, so every time I see lions, lion statues, I feel very attached to them. So I sketched one of the lion statues and the classical building of the public library. So I was very lucky to have 5 straight sunny days while I was in New York last October. So sketching the sunset on top of the Empire State Building. Yeah, it's actually pretty challenging to simplify all of these these clusters of buildings. Sketching at Central Park. Yeah, so I really love Central Park. So this is the view of the lake at Central Park and the famous terrace with the fountain in the middle of the plaza. Again, lots of people. Yeah, lots of people in New York City. Flipping through to the next page, going to the countryside area of New York to volunteer at a meditation center. Yeah, it was a really beautiful and quiet place, much more quieter than most places in the world. And this is one of the dormitories. It's actually a heritage house. And sketching the dining hall, squeezing some time in between the volunteer hours, sunset colors, and autumn foliage. And then getting ready to go back home, a quick loose sketch at the JFK Airport, New York. It's capturing the sunset on October the 17th. Yeah. And then coming back home to the cold and rainy Vancouver, October the 18th. And I really miss doing these smaller sketches at home. Yeah, right? It's just so much more personal and meaningful when you're breaking down your daily moment into smaller sketches. You don't have to always sketch a full page landscape. Cafe sketch at one of my favorite cafes, the Nemesis Coffee in Gastown, Vancouver. My usual composition style. And then showing my Sunday sketch class live on Zoom. How to sketch the Manhattan Bridge, the foliage, and this brick building on the right-hand side with some people walking by. Some more little snippets of my daily life and my kitty doo-doo. Capturing the autumn colors outside my neighborhood Starbucks window, along with a sketch of my cup of coffee and cheese Danish, my favorite snack from Starbucks. All of their other things are way too sweet for me. Sketching at another favorite cafe on October 24th, the Take 5 Cafe in Sapperton, New Westminster. The cold but still sensational grays on a winter day. Bluish and purplish grays on an autumn day. My favorite cup of caramel macchiato and blueberry scone in the front. Another sketch of my kitty doo-doo and gooseberries and apple and the moon rising outside my reading room window. Sketching in Chinatown, so first having tea and pancakes at a favorite little restaurant in the Strathcona community, and then moving on to the park on the other side of the street to sketch these buildings of Chinatown in early autumn. So sketching in the car of these, this is kind of like a tunnel of autumn leaves somewhere in the west part of Vancouver. Yeah, so I love these shadows in between the sunshine, capturing these golden and orange and red leaves in the car. Some more autumn foliage, the moon rising after dark. I believe it was the full hunter's moon on October the 28th. Yeah, so autumn foliage in my neighborhood. Again, a little blueberry muffin and coffee from Starbucks. Sketching at a cafe in the community of Strathcona in East Vancouver, the Finch's Coffee and Tea House. Yeah, capturing the autumn foliage, a beautiful mix of yellow greens and yellow oranges. Yeah. Next page. So sketching my kitty doo-doo and a really soothing gradient of all kinds of colors in the evening sky on Halloween. And my cup of tea back home. Sketching with some fellow Vancouver urban sketchers in New Westminster. Yeah, so capturing some of these old and new friends from the Vancouver Urban Sketchers group. Moving into November. So another Starbucks sketch. So every time I sketch the same view outside the same window, my personal sensation is different. So it's never actually a real repetition. Okay, and then I believe these leaves are turning into more of a red-orange color compared to the one before that I sketched 2 weeks earlier. And a maple leaf that I found in my neighborhood that I held in my hand. A cup of coffee from Tim Hortons and the golden orange cherry tree leaves outside my reading room window to the north. Pineapple pastry and doo-doo in the fluffy bowl. Next page, sketching with my Sunday sketch class live on Zoom of a pumpkin pie, some autumn leaves, and some organic apples. Yeah, and sketching at one of my favorite cafes. It's actually a brunch restaurant. It's called the Honeybee Bruncheonette in the Strathcona community, close to Main Street SkyTrain station. Capturing some people and these golden trees on the other side of the street outside the big windows. Next page, yeah, it was on the same day. Sketching in Chinatown. So the Strathcona community is actually pretty close to Chinatown, Vancouver. So I did more sketches on the same day after having brunch, and I grabbed a little snack of a samosa and a cup of coffee. Dudu in a fluffy ball, in another different fluffy ball gesture. I love the way that his little arm is covering his face. When he doesn't want it to get disturbed by us, he just covers up his face with his paws. Sketching at the cafe in New Westminster. I think this is the Mood Swing Cafe. I just love these little light bulbs with different facial expressions showing mood swing. Yeah, the theme of the cafe. A stormy day retreating at home with Kitty Dudu and my parents. So sketching these things. And we had a power outage that day. Okay, so I managed to sketch these things before dark. And yeah, so after the windstorm, we had a bright sunny day afterwards. And so I captured the blue sky and that beautiful cloud floating in the north outside my reading room window. Some persimmons, an orange, and a jar of coconut milk. Autumn foliage in my neighborhood that I sketched with my Sunday class live on Zoom. Sketching a heritage train, the Canadian Pacific Railway Engine 374 that's being displayed at Yeotown Community Center, the Roundhouse. And then, yeah, another sunny day sketch, but pretty cold on in the middle of November by the quayside of Yeotown, one of my favorite places in Vancouver. I used to work around here for about 4 years as a substitute preschool teacher. So on many days after work or even before work, I like to stroll around this the quayside just to relax and sometimes doing some sketches before going home. So this place, the Yeotown quayside, is very sensational for me. Brings back a lot of memories. Some more little snippets at home sketches, sketching at Deer Lake in Burnaby. Sketching with my Sunday class live on Zoom on November the 19th. Sketching the autumn foliage in Sapperton. So first having a cup of coffee and a blueberry scone. This is the view outside the ticket entrance of the SkyTrain station. The Port Mann Bridge and the Petula Bridge is somewhere behind. This is the other side of New Westminster. The Fraser River right over here. And this is the main side of New Westminster. And another cafe sketch at Nemesi's Coffee, one of my favorite cafes. They have very nice croissants and coffee. And a dark, rainy day in New Westminster. So first having a waffle and coffee breakfast. And then sketching the foliage on the other side of New Westminster across the Fraser River. Including the statue of one of the founders of Vancouver, Simon Fraser. Some more golden leaves and doo-doo in Dreamland, the moon rising. Sketching at Craft Cafe, right by the quayside of New Westminster, and two fellow customers in very lively conversations on the tugboat. And my process of eating a banana. So this is really fun page. You never know what you're going to end up with when you're sketching one thing after another, putting a page together. Sketching with my Sunday sketch class live on Zoom of Deer Lake again. And then a very foggy day in New Westminster. Yeah, capturing the world's tallest tin soldier by the quayside, looking at the Fraser River. And this is a little kids museum behind. Cup of coffee and a matcha cream cheese muffin. And again, this is the same view, okay, of the Fraser River on the other side of New Westminster. So every time I sketch the same location, the weather and my personal sensations and feelings could be very different from the times before. Sketching with some fellow Vancouver urban sketchers again at Craft Cafe in New Westminster. And then sunset glow, a bottle of sweet chili sauce, oranges and sardines. Last page of the sketchbook, done on December the 3rd, sketching with my Sunday class live on Zoom, and some tickets from New York City. Yeah, from the museums and all the places. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so now let's quickly go over the very basic set of materials that I carry around with me every day at home and going out to sketch at cafes and everywhere, anywhere in the world. So basically I have these two pouches. So this one is for my pens. Most of the time I just use two pens to sketch. My current favorite pens are the Sailor's Fude fountain pens with, this one has a 55-degree bent nib, and this one has the 40-degree bent nib. So the line qualities of these two pens are slightly different. And I've also got a bunch of other pens and pencils, just in case if I have somebody who would really want to sketch with me together, or if I want to try a different pen. You never know. So that's for my pens in a small pouch. And this bigger pouch is for my watercolors and towel and travel watercolor brushes. So in here I have, in this bigger pouch, I have my Mungyo watercolor palette. Again, you can see it's very small. It's about the size of my hand. Okay, very small palette with 12 basic colors in here, and then modified a little bit with a couple colors from Etchr brand and two colors from Russian White Knight. Okay, so that's the inside. Okay, a very simple set of colors. Again, we don't need all of the colors in the world to be able to paint. Just 12 basic ones, and we can mix pretty much all the colors we can sense. So, and then two water brushes from the Holbein brand, large tip and medium tip. Both are round tip brushes. And a towel to constantly clean the brush tips, switching between colors. Inside a Ziploc bag. Yeah, and everything fits in there, fits in this bigger pouch. The towel, the watercolor palette, and the two paint brushes. And the pouch was just a few pens in here, and my sketchbook. Alright, so now let's go over this sketchbook from December the 5th to February the 17th, 2024. Okay, my winter time of 2023 to early 24. Okay, so sketching the little bit of snow that arrived in Vancouver in early December, and it just melted away after a day or two. Gingerbread man and Thousand Island dressing sauce, cream cottage cheese. So sketching at a favorite cafe, the Prado Cafe on Commercial Drive. Again, capturing these grays using sensational bluish and purplish grays. So during autumn and winter, when the temperature is so low, it's pretty hard to sit out there and do more landscape sketches. So I just, most of the time I just stay nice and cozy at home or at cafes, sketching food and fellow customers in front of me. Yeah, Dudu landing on the windowsill and looking at the outside, the snow. Sketching at Trees Organic Coffee, right down Joyce SkyTrain station. The warm and cozy atmosphere that I accentuated using a lot of yellows and yellow oranges. Sketching was my Sunday sketch class live on Zoom of some holiday decorations in my neighborhood. So sketching at Coasters Coffee in New Westminster. Yeah, some fellow customers, my cup of latte and the little muffin. Another Dudu sketch, snuggled up inside his bed. And the grays that I sense them more as blues and violets. Sketching at JJ Bean, somewhere in the West Village area, close to Falls Creek of Main Street SkyTrain station. Sketching at Terra Breads, capturing these, sketching the couple here in conversations on what they have read on the newspaper. Cup of matcha latte and a pear Danish, the mountains and the buildings outside the cafe window. And enjoying the holiday high tea with my mom at the Secret Garden Tea. Sketching with my Sunday class live on Zoom of my kitty Dudu and an artificial Christmas tree with Disney characters spinning around. Sketching at a favorite cafe, the Hideout Cafe in New Westminster on December the 20th before the holidays. I just love their Thai chicken wrap and soup and coffee for sure. Yeah, Dudu. Yeah, capturing him with his eyes open, very rarely in my sketches. Yeah, looking at me, making a sketch of him and the sunset skies outside my windows. Behind Dudu. Egg tart and cup of coffee at home. Couple days before Christmas, it was actually nice and bright and sunny. And I ventured out around New Westminster again. The cafes were much quieter because it was holiday season. The heritage buildings in New Westminster, done on Boxing Day. Yeah, another cafe sketch. Two lady customers in front of me, Christmas tree. Dudu and a little jar of strawberry jam and ham. Sky opening up. Sketching the waterfront station building in downtown Vancouver from a newly opened cafe, the Ville Cafe. And yeah, I spent the last day of 2023, the morning of New Year's Eve at one of my favorite cafes in New Westminster, just grabbing hot waffles, and eggs. So this is like a really unique group with a dad and two daughters and some family friends enjoying the brunch time together. It was a really fun sketch to do, capturing these people. And first few sketches of 2024. It was really slow start of a new year for me. In 3 days, I just sketched a little bit. Yeah, a few sketches. And then, yeah, going to one of my favorite cafes, the Delicia Cafe. A pretty new cafe in New Westminster that just opened for about 1 year. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary of opening. Sketching at a cafe somewhere in Chinatown. The Roccanini Cafe, kind of like an Italian name, on the 3rd day of January. Yeah, again, it's a pretty ambitious panorama that took me about 2 hours to finish. 2.5 hours. Okay, and flipping through these pages. Yes, it's always a special experience to look back at these pages after some time has passed. revisiting the moments and the memories from last autumn and winter. Okay, and more food and drink sketches, sketching some chocolates. Another cafe sketch at Delicia Coffee in New Westminster. And I love sketching directly with my Sailor's Fude fountain pen, capturing real-time observations on location. There's something truly magical about slowing down and seeing the world around us, not just with our eyes, but also with our hearts. One thing that I particularly enjoy is sketching the same views from my home windows or revisiting favorite cafes. And each time I return to the same locations, those familiar scenes, I always find new ways to compose my sketches. My perspective and emotions are never the same, which adds a unique depth to each drawing and watercolors. So this is another sketch at Craft Cafe that I go very often. But it's a different group of people, always. Yeah, of course, different sensations every time. Sketching at the Hideout Cafe again in New Westminster. I just love their food. It's very much like homemade quality and of very reasonable prices. Some more snowy sketches. The views outside my home windows. Dudu again, awake. And it's pretty hard to get a sketch done when Dudu and pretty much most other cats when they're awake. And another neighborhood cafe sketch. The piles of snow outside the doors and windows. Another Dudu. And some more little food sketches. Sketching at Delicia Cafe again. So food and drinks also play a significant role in our lives. That's why I love sketching them as well. So these little brunches and snacks and cup of coffee is a pretty much essential part of all of our daily lives, right? We all need to eat something every day. Some more cafe sketches. This one was done actually exploring a new cafe on Main Street, the Liberty Bakery Cafe. So by sketching my food and drinks, I can preserve not just the appearance of those items, but also the feelings and memories associated with each meal. Yeah, a Prado Cafe on Commercial Drive. Sketching with my Sunday class live on Zoom. A couple outside the window. This is also a unique set of portrait that I captured. A lady holding her dog, right? Very adorable. And it was very nice. The dog stayed mostly still when I was sketching him or her. Yeah, sketching at 49th Parallel and Lucky's Donuts on Main Street with some of my fellow Vancouver urban sketchers. Sketching on Granville Island, grabbing that German-style hot dog and a nice cup of caramel macchiato. Yeah, sketching around Falls Creek at Terrabread's Cafe. Sketching at Cranky Cafe, going there for the first time. Sketching at Forecast Coffee on Main Street. They have very nice chicken sandwiches as well as coffee. These are the heritage shop fronts of the Mount Pleasant area on Main Street, Vancouver. And this is the view outside the Fog Lifter Coffee on Main and East 20th Avenue. Dudu stretching out. And this is like a little panorama of the waterfront area in Vancouver. Mid-February, sketching the heritage houses outside the Honeybee Bruncheonette in Strathcona. And again, as you can recall, I've been revisiting this brunch place over and over again over the past couple of years. Last page, yep. Testing out a new Sailor's Fude fountain pen. And that's it. So I will see you around in the next tutorial video in the next few days, very soon. Enjoy the beautiful spring days wherever you are. take your time to slow down and look at all of these newly blooming flowers and fresh new leaves all around you, and perhaps do some sketches to record your seeings and sensations, and yeah, just making this world a much better place by creating art. So I'll see you again next time, everyone. Bye and take care.